Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. I don't like making videos like this, to be clear. I like to just focus on the transfer portal, maybe hidden gems, my betting videos and whatnot. Shout out to the MVPs and Patreon. Shout out to YouTube members. But I had a guy reach out to me, multiple people reach out to me on TikTok, and they're just spamming me like, hey, why are you dragging Agye Hall? If you guys don't know Agye Hall, kid coming out of Florida, former 5-star wide receiver, went to Alabama. Nick Saban eventually kicked him off the team. He dragged all Alabama fans after he left. Got to Texas, got arrested, got kicked off of that team. Last year, he was in the transfer portal. Nobody signed him. And then this year, it turns out, gets announced he's going to walk on to UCF, preferred walk on to UCF. And I was like, okay, well, talent will get second and third and fourth chances, but this is not a good kid. I went and I actually posted, I'd say at least 4 videos on him, maybe even 5 on TikTok in the last 2 years. And I remember I went back and did a clip, and I got a clip of him from high school. And a high school coach is telling all the wide receivers in the line, remember, he went to 4 or 5 different high schools, but this wide receivers coach is telling everybody, hey, catch the ball with 2 hands. And Agye Hall is the first wide receiver in the line of wide receivers. And he runs the route. It's like a quick slant. And he intentionally tries to catch the ball with 1 hand after the coach said use 2 hands. And that lack of maturity, that immaturity, that lack of respect for authority, that lack of respect for your coaches, it manifested itself 100 times over once he got to college. And he just never, ever lived up to the hype or the quote-unquote potential. And I don't like to use the P word. I hate potential. Potential just means you're not it, right? You're not exactly what we thought you would be. That's what potential means. If any teacher in the world has ever told you you have potential, it's their backwards way of saying, hey, dude, do better. Try harder. Be better. You're not as good as you should be. Or could be, right? But nonetheless, Agye Hall. So he didn't walk on to UCF. Turns out he didn't enroll at UCF, and he won't be on the UCF staff, team, roster, whatever. Excuse me. And I made a video about it on TikTok. And I said, hey, look, guys, I was right about this guy for 2 years now. I told you, he is a cancer to locker rooms. He is not a student athlete. This is somebody who needs to stop pretending to be a college football player and go and start a job. Get a job and start paying your taxes and become a productive member of society. But this ain't it, bro. You're not a football player. You're not a college student at all. And I got attacked, right? There's all these there's all these enablers in the comments. You should be uplifting this man. You should be doing this. And I'm looking around like, that's not my job. My job is not to uplift this young man. I don't know him personally. I don't know. I've never coached him. I'm not here to uplift him. I don't work at the university trying to repair his image or get him on the field. My job is just to report the news, bro. My job is just to be an analyst and do analysis on matchups. And in this case, a law-abiding citizen is an impossible task for somebody like Agye Hall. He cannot follow laws. He does not respect authority. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants. So when they attack me and they write in all the comments, you need to uplift him, you this, that, why would you do this? Why are you dragging this kid, all this stuff? It's like, do you even know who you're defending? So now the tweet comes out 10 hours ago. The tweet comes out 10 hours ago. This guy named Matt Stahl says, former Alabama wide receiver Agye Hall recently pled no contest. That means you went to court. You didn't say you were guilty or not guilty. You plead no contest. And he got 18 months probation. This is Tony Mitchell times 100. If you guys don't remember Tony Mitchell, Alabama 5-star, 4-star safety. He recently just got released from that. He's now in the JUCOs. But Tony Mitchell, 3 years probation. He was driving around, going 140 miles an hour, resisting arrest. And I want to say Tony Mitchell had a scale. He was with a friend who had a gun. It was unregistered. And Tony Mitchell was resisting arrest at 140 miles an hour. And that's probably the bigger crime there, right? Running from the cops, going over 140, could potentially kill someone, being reckless. I have a problem with all of it. But everybody's like, oh, what's the big deal? It was only like 200 grams of weed. If you don't know, 200 grams of weed is, and some numbers there, it's essentially half a pound. They found a scale with $7,000 in there as well. You could say he maybe had a pound and sold half. I don't know. Or maybe he's using the scale to make sure he bought the right amount and got the right amount, as they try to tell me. It was for personal consumption. I think the funniest personal consumption story I've ever heard was Bam Morris back in the day, if I remember correctly. Fullback, Steelers maybe? Bam Morris, he said his 8 pounds of weed that they found, back then it was highly illegal. Now, marijuana is legal in certain states. It's not legal in Florida that I know of. If I remember correctly, because that's where Tony Mitchell was trying to traffic the drugs as well. But if I remember correctly, Bam Morris said 8 pounds of weed for him was personal consumption, and because he didn't want to get charged with drug trafficking. Now, the most famous drug trafficking, Sam Hurd, that dude was doing real keys of coke, and when he moved from Dallas to Chicago, the FBI was like, "Whoa, what's going on here? We just got a drug kingpin in the city. Who is it?" And they found out it's a wide receiver on the Bears. That's a whole nother story. But I think Nate Newton got caught with 200-something pounds of weed that he was trafficking. And then while he was on probation, while he was out on bail, got caught again with another 200 pounds of weed, if I remember. Man, these are from the 90s, maybe early 2000s. These are stories that I just vaguely remember. Nonetheless, here we have a young man caught with 40.3 pounds of weed at the Orlando airport. Do you understand the ignorance of this man? 40.3 pounds of weed. I don't know if he's trying to get it out of Orlando or into Orlando, but it's 40 pounds of weed. That's in your luggage? In your luggage, 40 pounds of weed. Did you pack toothpaste? This is ignorance. And the dumber part of this is people are in the comments defending this man's actions. People are, and look, I know every video on the internet will go, well. No, bro, let's stop with all the jokes. Let's be real. This is a fast criminal. This is somebody who breaks laws, has no respect for authority or laws, and could run fast. So that's why you know his name. Shit like this is happening all over the country. You don't know anybody's names because they're not athletes, because they don't play a sport. This guy doesn't play a sport. He's not a student athlete. This guy's not going to school anywhere. Nah. You guys need to understand, you got to pick and choose your battles. Pick and choose who you want to defend, but this ain't it. You don't defend this. This is drug trafficking. This is criminal. And hey, Rico, what's the big deal? He's just trying to be a businessman. Go about it the right way. Stop doing illegal things. No, this ain't a game. Nope. Never going to rock with this dude in a million years. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. I was right again, y'all. Check that playlist.